This is a paid advertisement on behalf of White Gold Corp. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with David D'Onofrio, CEO and Director of White Gold Corp. Pleasure to have you on today, David. How are you doing?
It's great to be here. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. Excited to be talking about this company. It's been an awesome year for gold, and I feel like you guys have an awesome story to tell. So, for viewers who may be new to White Gold's story, can you start by giving us an introduction to the company and your vision for developing this district-scale land package in the Yukon's White Gold District?
For sure. You're right. It is a different and pretty unique company. I'm also a principal at Power One Capital. We're a merchant bank based in Toronto. We've been investing and financing resource companies for over 20 years. So we've seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This opportunity for us is it was particularly special when we came when it was presented to us. This was 9 years now in 2016. So we've taken this under our wing and worked with our partner Shawn Ryan to develop it to where it is today. For those of you that don't know, Shawn Ryan is a notorious prospector, and he was credited for making the first hard rock discoveries in the Klondike district of the White Gold. So that's where this company is. The Klondike was made famous for the historic gold rush that started 1899. It has continued to today. It has actually never been more active from a placer mining perspective. There's been over 20 million ounces of gold found in the creeks. And up until a few years ago, when Shawn Ryan went there and cracked the code, there was actually no hard rock discovery. So Shawn brought this opportunity to us, which is an extremely large land package that basically covers all the best targets in this area, and we've partnered with him, and we believe we are just at the very early innings of unlocking all the gold and other metal endowment of this area. And in addition to Power One, Agnico Eagle also shared this perspective on the potential of the opportunity. They are joined us as a partner as well in this company.
Awesome story and intro. So let's talk about the White Gold District. So the White Gold District has a reputation as one of Canada's most exciting emerging gold camps. Can you walk us through what makes this region so unique geologically and why major players have been so active in the area?
Yes, so it's hosted in what's known as this Tintina belt, which is a rock structure that goes from Alaska through the Yukon into BC. This has been proven to be one of the most prolific hosts for many large discoveries of not only gold but copper and other elements. However, for whatever reason, actually I know the reason, and I'll tell you, the area in the Yukon was just not explored to the same extent that Alaska and BC was. So where the work was done in Alaska and BC, there have been tremendous discoveries. It wasn't until Shawn Ryan really went there that he figured it out. And the issue was this part of Canada was actually not glaciated. So what that means is there's very little outcrop. Most prospectors, they see the outcrop. That's what they use as their primary indicative tool. They take the sample with their little hammer and they'll bring that to the lab. Without the outcrop, that technique just did not work. So most prospectors would continue to work in areas that they know in Ontario and Quebec and BC and Alaska, and it was just overlooked. Shawn grew up in a mining family in Ontario, wanted to get out there. The lure of making these large gold discoveries was always a passion of his throughout his life. And it was this part of Canada that really, he couldn't get it out of his mind in terms of the opportunity, like 20 million ounces of gold and no discoveries, where statistically there's usually multiples of amount of gold in the bedrock that you see. And he went there, he quickly found out why, but that did not stop him. He took 5 years working day and night until he figured out how to best determine where the gold is. And he was almost immediately successful, making two very large multi-million ounce discoveries that were acquired for hundreds of millions of dollars.
So you control an enormous land package and several high-quality targets. For new investors, can you break down the key assets in your portfolio and highlight which ones you believe represent the biggest value drivers today?
For sure. And that's another part of the story that I think is incredibly unique. Most junior exploration companies, it's the opportunity to discover and find one mine. What Shawn did, once he realized what how effective his protocol was. He used that same technique to go and basically test the entire area. And from there, he was able to stake a claim package is now 300,000 hectares. It's 40% of the landmass in the area, but it's 85% of the target. So what White Gold actually represents is not just the opportunity to discover one mine. We have 20 properties. So we believe we have an entire camp in our hands. So it's the opportunity to invest in the evolution of a potential camp. And our analogy is imagine you can go back in time and get a land package and own 85% of targets in somewhere like Timmins or Val-d'Or or the Nevada gold fields. So that's a really unique and a special opportunity, I believe. I think it's one of the largest land packages that for sure I've ever seen. Within that portfolio, we have three categories of properties. We have our advanced properties, where we've made discoveries and delineated gold resources. We have our discovery stage properties where we've made bona fide discoveries that we're in the process of following up. And then we have our regional portfolio where these properties have defined targets which require further work. And I think they're as prospective as any of the other ones. And that's the nice thing is that as we've seen what's led to the success, we can have increased confidence in these earlier stage targets. So today, I think White Gold, what most people will be focusing on is our core flagship property called the White Gold Project. We've now delineated 3 million ounces of gold. So this is a very large resource, but what's so unique about it is the grade. The overall grade is 1.4 grams per ton. It's all in an open pit. Within that is 1.1 million ounces at almost 3 grams per ton and 700,000 ounces at almost 5 grams per ton. So that's one of the largest, highest grade open pitable deposits in Canada, and it all remains open for expansion. It's built out of 4 deposits, and I'm very sort of optimistic that we will continue to grow that. And what's further accelerated our ability to advance these projects is the addition to our team of Dylan Langell, who was part of the discovery team at Great Bear Resources, which I presume a lot of the people will be familiar with. That was acquired by Kinross for $1.8 billion. He continued to drill that out. And now that that's moving to production, he was looking for his next challenge. And, I think it speaks volumes to the potential of our project where a guy like that who could go anywhere in the world came to us. So I think there's tremendous value opportunity for there to continue to grow this known deposit. The hardest part about this business is actually technical success. So that's there. And then the blue sky opportunity that the balance of the portfolio represents, I think is also very exciting. And it's something that differentiates this company from many because you're getting the best of both worlds.
So could you tell us more about the current work that has been completed recently compared to the work done in the previous years? And what are some of the key milestones or results that you think best demonstrate the potential of the project?
So this is a really exciting time for White Gold and for the Yukon in particular. The Yukon has seen tremendous amount of discovery success recently. In addition to White Gold, there's many other great companies that have been doing more work in recent years and having similar types of success. Snowline Gold would be one that might people be familiar with, Banyan, Sitka. So we're seeing a lot of interest coming into the Yukon. This year, we've had a impactful program that we are now in the process of releasing results for. I think that's very interesting. It's going to continue to demonstrate the unique high-grade nature of our project and some of the growth potential. In terms of some additional results that are coming forward that people can look forward is analysis on some of our projects, which we've actually identified to be primary critical mineral targets, copper, tungsten, and other critical minerals. In our district, in addition to the other large gold discoveries that Shawn Ryan has made, is the Casino deposit, Canada's largest undeveloped copper deposit. We have many projects around that where we've identified targets with a lot of similarities. So we're in the process of identifying that first. That's what really excites me about this. We have this huge land package with this just actual treasure box of opportunity. We've done the work. We know what's led to the success. We see the indicators for future work to be done. So I think that results coming will be very interesting. To unlock further value for shareholders, we're in the process of identifying some of these critical mineral projects, which we're going to spin off to our shareholders. We believe that our company is currently undervalued as a whole, especially considering it's so high grade and so big, which means that these critical mineral targets would frankly not getting much value for them at all. So we're in the process of spinning that out. It'll allow us to build a specialized team and unlock that value for our shareholders. But the biggest thing I think that's most exciting is going forward, we have been able to raise a considerable amount of capital, and we are going to now embark upon one of the largest exploration programs in the history of the company. And we believe that these projects being as open as they are, it will allow us to grow them considerably. If you look at one comparative, our neighbor in the district, which is another Shawn Ryan discovery, it's called the Coffee Project. It's owned by Fuerte Minerals. It's an excellent heap leach project. Agnico's come in to invest with that along with Pierre Lassonde. They're building a mine there. That project has seen 600,000 meters of drilling, whereas ours has only seen 60,000. So the program coming up this year, we believe it'll have the opportunity to meaningfully move the puck down the ice and grow our assets significantly. So I think that's something people can look forward to next year, in addition to advancing some of these other discoveries. So technically in the ground, that's what's happening. And that's going to be rounded out by our preliminary economic assessments, which we plan to release sometime in the first half of next year. I am personally extremely excited about that. I believe that's going to really identify the unique characteristics of this project, and with the high grade, how it has the potential to be so economically robust.
Lots to look forward to. So could you also tell us, is there anything else to add about the upcoming work program?
Yeah, I think that what we have to look forward to is growth of the actual deposit itself, which I mentioned, but also the continued work on some of these other discoveries we made in and around our actual deposit. In the past years, with more modest budgets, what we felt we could do to get the most value was look for new zones of mineralization within a close proximity to the actual core of the deposit. And we were extremely successful in that regard as well. So we've identified many targets which I believe themselves have the potential to be their own deposit. There's actually a 6 kilometer trend just 1.5 kilometers east of our flagship zone. We'll be testing that further, or sorry, I should say following up on discoveries made on that zone further. And just another few kilometers north of that, we've identified another large trend. So there's going to be what I believe low-hanging fruit type exploration, in addition to working on these new discoveries, which some of them are right beside the coffee project. So, it's a lot to actually think about, but the way I actually view White Gold as a super junior, we have what would be the combination of many different juniors all in one. And I think that really helps provide great opportunities from an investor's perspective, and from a risk reward perspective. That's what really differentiates White Gold from a lot of the other juniors in the marketplace.
Thanks for sharing that. So to summarize, looking ahead from now through the end of the year and into 2026, what should potential shareholders be watching for? Catalysts, exploration plans, or developments you think could be the biggest
Yeah, all of the
drivers
above.
of
So we're going
value?
to have continued results right through the end of the year into the early new year. You're going to see more details on our exploration plan going forward. And then I think that will be capped off by the PA sometime in the first half of the year, which will coincide with the initiation of this drill program going into next year, which I think will be a tremendous value driver. You'll look forward to hearing more from Dylan Langell, our new VP of Exploration, and why he joined White Gold and thought this was such a special opportunity, as well as insights from Shawn Ryan, our partner and notorious prospector, who really was able to identify the potential early on. And now we're starting to see the fruits of his intuition coming to bear.
Well, David, it's an exciting time. I feel like hopefully the stars are aligning for you guys. You've got lots of news coming, lots of catalysts. So thank you for explaining and breaking down your story. I look forward to covering it, and we'll definitely have you back on for more updates in the new year as things progress.
That's great. Yeah, stay tuned. I think the stars are absolutely aligning. This is a special opportunity, and there's some very exciting times ahead for us.